It's a series that needs no introduction. With the culmination of characters from different Nintendo franchises, like Mario and Link, all the way to recent additions like the Splatoon Inkling and the Wii Fit Trainer, Super Smash Bros. Has remained relevant for decades, whereas other fighting games have been left behind in the dusty arcades and early video game consoles. Its health system is unique in that it employs a gradually filling damage meter rather than a depleting life bar. Controls are relatively simple, but most importantly, it was easily accessible to newcomers, while retaining plenty of depth to keep hardcore fans around. Welcome to MojoPlays, and today, we're going to be looking at the history of the Super Smash Bros. Series. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. It was a diverse range of characters that HAL Laboratories' Masahiro Sakurai originally sought as the selling point for this original fighting game. In a series of interviews with the late Nintendo president Satoru Iwata, Sakurai said he had an idea for a 4-player fighting game that he called Dragon King, the fighting game. Sakurai approached Iwata, who was his co-worker at the time, with the idea of Dragon King, and realizing its potential and wanting to work with the N64's unique 3D joystick, Iwata agreed to do the programming. Sakurai, meanwhile, would work on everything else, like the planning, design, and specs. As they both had previous commitments, like jobs, darn it, they sporadically worked on the game over weekends. The original prototype contained 4 faceless characters, but Sakurai wanted to use Nintendo characters due to their pre-established backgrounds and to lend the game a joyous atmosphere. Nintendo originally showed reservation, so the two designers wrote something called the Ultimate Manual to persuade potential buyers of the fun and depth their fighting game would offer. Nintendo saw the light and finally agreed to do the project, and Super Smash Bros. Was born. However, the project was not smooth sailing. Perhaps due to Sakurai's relative lack of experience, or because they were still somewhat hesitant about the project, Nintendo gave Sakurai's team a small budget, leading to the limited roster and only one main single-player mode. However, most people didn't care. While critics criticized the single-player component for being bare bones, its multiplayer and combat was highly praised, and the game sold well, as anyone who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s could tell you. When it was time for the N64 to collect dust, Super Smash Bros. Was fondly remembered as one of its greatest multiplayer experiences.
This game's winner is...
However, things were just getting started. Seeing the green roll in, Nintendo immediately tasked Sakurai with creating a sequel to serve as a launch title for their upcoming GameCube. This time around, Nintendo gave Sakurai's team a bigger budget, allowing them to create a far more robust and expansive game, and working with the new console didn't hurt either. The budget allowed them to greatly expand the roster to 25, and newcomers Marth and Roy helped to popularize the Fire Emblem series in North America. There were also new gameplay additions, most importantly a great single-player experience that included Adventure Mode. And of course, this being a new generation, the graphics and physics were greatly overhauled. Dresses now blew in the wind, items reacted with natural weight and physics, character models were more detailed, and gameplay ran both smoother and faster. The game was an immediate success. Praised by critics and gamers alike, it sold 7 million units, making it the GameCube's best-selling title. The new, faster gameplay style also resulted in Melee being played in competitive gaming circles. Major League Gaming began sponsoring Melee in 2004, and it has remained a popular game on the esport market due to its fast pace and complex gameplay. Sakurai acknowledges the game's depth, telling Famitsu, quote, "I doubt we'll ever see a Smash game that's as geared toward hardcore gamers as Melee was."
Absolutely tearing through everyone today, Toph!
The next entry, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, was unveiled at E3 2006, with the surprise reveal of Solid Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series, a series with PlayStation at the time. Snake's inclusion dated back to Melee, when Sakurai told Kotaku in 2006 that Metal Gear director Hideo Kojima contacted him and, quote, practically begged him to have Snake included in Smash Bros. Melee while that game was in development. Nevertheless, fans started to question what other third-party characters could be included in the game, with the most requested character being Mario's longtime rival, Sonic the Hedgehog. And on October 10th, 2007, that wish was granted, and the internet went wild.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
The biggest addition to Brawl, though, was the inclusion of online play, something that had long been requested for the series due to its big focus on multiplayer modes. The game was finally released in 2008, and while the aforementioned features were highly praised, hardcore fans levied criticism against the game for its frustrating gameplay mechanics, especially the infamous tripping inclusion. This led to Brawl being considered a more casual game than its intricate predecessor, an argument that is seemingly proven through its sales. It became the fastest selling game in Nintendo of America's history, and eventually sold over 13 million units. Brawl is for casuals confirmed. The series saw another major overhaul in 2014 with the release of two titles, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Sakurai designed both games with the intention of balancing the disconnected gameplay styles of Melee and Brawl. This included, to the glee of hardcore fans, the removal of the detested tripping mechanic. Aside from balancing the gameplay, the two respective titles featured new gameplay modes, Smash Run and Street Smash on the 3DS, and Smash Tour, Special Orders, and Event Mode on the Wii U. The Wii U version also ran at 1080p and introduced an 8-player fight mode, fittingly titled 8-Player Smash. The series also introduced customizable characters and Mii fighters, allowing players to customize their favorite characters' attacks and power-ups. And of course, the game introduced a slew of new characters, bringing the roster up to 58, which includes 7 downloadable fighters. Newcomers included the Wii Fit Trainer, Rosalina, Little Mac, and third-party characters like Mega Man and Pac-Man. When both games launched in 2014, they were both met with praise from fans and critics alike, despite some pointing at issues with the 3DS's circle pad and the removal of an adventure mode. Which brings us to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the culmination of 2 decades worth of hard work. The game includes even more multiplayer game modes, not to mention a single-player mode called World of Light. Some fan-favorite stages, like Saffron City, make a return. And of course, the game expanded the roster to a whopping 74 fighters. New characters include Princess Daisy, the Inklings, Ken Masters, and Simon and Richter Belmont. However, in a surprising twist, the player only has access to the original 8 characters from Super Smash Bros. At the beginning of the game. It's a brilliant throwback to the series' roots, with other characters being unlocked as you play. Classic characters have also been tweaked, with Mario and Link retooled to represent their latest entries.
Link dons his champion's tunic from The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. His bombs are now remotely detonated.
On top of these additions, 6 more characters are slated to be released as downloadable content in the future, with the Piranha Plant from the Mario series already being confirmed. With Super Smash Bros. Ultimate covering nearly everything the series has to offer over its 2-decade-long history, one has to ask, where can Smash go from here? Sakurai has really outdone himself this time around, so whatever the future holds for the series, we'll be ready. Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.